Hey everyone. Oh my goodness. My screen is big today because Kels went to Bigger Pockets Beacon and I hope she's having an amazing time over there. If you're watching Felicia, what's up? I'm sure she's gonna tell us all about it. So welcome to Kels and Betzy podcast, where we are focused on raising capital and investing with purpose. Whether you're a new investor, an experienced real estate investor, or business owner, understanding the art of raising capital is crucial in today's competitive landscape. Join us as we navigate the complex realm of attracting investors, securing funding, and building meaningful relationships that fuel your business growth. Hi, hello, everyone. Oh my gosh, I am so happy to be here. It's just me today, your host, Betzy Rodas. I am very excited for our first episode of bringing someone on from our audience so that they can ask questions. Kalisha is not with us today because she went to the conference, the Bigger Pockets conference, and I'm very excited to hear all about it when she joins us next week. So I'm sure she'll tell us a little bit about the fun and the connections and the relationships she's building. So, yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys. I wanted to start this episode with some thankfulness. I wanted to thank you guys for watching, you guys for listening on our podcast platforms. We really appreciate you guys for being here and connecting with us and building those relationships. Um, on this episode, like I said, we're bringing someone and they're going to be asking questions, someone from our own audience. I'm so excited to start doing this with you guys. And today's guest is none other than someone that you guys might know. He's out there making those connections and building those relationships. You guys, just from Texas, Joell.
Well,
Hey, Joel.
appreciate you bringing me on today, Betsy. This is honestly, I'm happy for this opportunity and being able to be more involved in this community and asking some questions to you guys and learning from you guys. So,
Yeah, well, we're really excited that you were able to say yes and come on here on. I know you got picked like last week and we let you know last week, so it wasn't like super um you didn't have so much time. It was a little short notice.
oh yeah,
So I'm so glad you were able to make it and be with us today.
definitely appreciate you actually.
Thanks. So let's get into it. Tell us a little bit about you, where you are, what's your market. Tell us what's going on.
So right now I'm currently in the Texas market in Dallas Fort Worth area. Currently I'm in the Wiley area, so not so far from Dallas. And right now my main focus is like relationship building and connecting with people. So like raising capital for other people and bringing fun to them, as well as buyers, deals, wrap buyers, and all of those things. Just by like calling and building relationships. Also finding deals at the same time. But Pace told me I gotta be really laser focused right now. So it's like he's telling me either you start calling 5 people a day and like move the needle, or like you have to be like 90 days focused on something. Just like keep doing it. So now I'm in that part where I'm starting to like communicate and talk with people and overcoming some fear, which I had for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fear that we all get, and like we were talking behind in the studio, you sometimes we just gotta jump into it,
Yep.
get our feet wet, and just dive in because
Hmm.
fear paralyzes us sometimes, but it's good to keep on going and do it scared sometimes. Yeah,
Exactly. Otherwise, you won't move.
good advice from Keston there.
Yep. 2 years I've been like that. So it's like just recently I've been really moving more.
That's amazing. And I know you've made some awesome connections recently.
Oh yes.
You met Pace. So that was really cool. You met Pace last year, right?
Oh yeah. That's when we were able to pick him up. So I mean, he's really cool. Like he always is open and wants to help people, and I just really matched with him. So
Yeah, it's
he
awesome.
really opened up a lot of doors for me. Thanks to him, like so many connections. Thanks to him. So I'm very grateful for him.
Yeah, that's amazing. So let's get into it. Today you get to be the one who asks the questions. So if you guys, the viewers, have any questions, feel free to jump in there too. Just we're having a conversation today, seeing what we can answer. What are things that you guys have in mind that maybe we haven't thought of? Questions about raising capital and real estate investing.
Hmm. I love this. So that's actually my first question is, so like how are you building relationships? Like how are you getting involved with more people and like expanding, especially scaling as the capital raiser?
Yeah. So what I have seen is going to meetups, meeting people in person. So meeting them for coffee even. So if I'm talking to someone on the phone or I'm like getting to know them through messages and I see that they're near me, I tell them like, "Hey, let's meet up for coffee sometimes." Or when I'm at meetups and I see we have similar interests, we're like, "Okay, let's do something. Let's go hang out after and like let's let's work together, actually, meet up at a coffee shop and do some work together." So I've seen that it's very beneficial to build those relationships and have them strong, because there's something about like meeting a person and seeing their face, being face to face with another person.
Exactly. Like the relationship, right? Like just take in person, I notice is a lot different than like online. Like even though we talk a lot online, we're like here in Texas, I started like meeting a lot of people in person. I notice it's like very, very different. Like you have more of like a trust built. It's
That's
like
true.
and you cannot like explain it. Like you feel a lot better. So another
That's
thing on that line, right? So like when you're building relationships, like well, how are you like starting out? Like how are you introducing yourself? What is your like your purpose and your avatar when you're like opening up to them? And how did you find that avatar of yours?
okay. Let's do the find one first.
All right.
Um, I started in real estate about over a year ago when I got into the mentorship of Sub 2. That's me. That's how I got into real estate and knew it was a possibility for people with no money and no credit. So that's I started working with a team actually in acquisitions, and I learned the process of generating leads and calling sellers and calling agents, and I even started calling brokers for multifamilies. So just negotiating and trying to get the best prices, and also knowing that not every deal is a good deal, and not to get desperate and try to get it even if it doesn't make sense. You can run the numbers so many times, but if the numbers don't number, you can't do nothing with that.
Exactly.
So from there, the people that I was working with are amazing friends. They are really, really great people. And we decided that we wanted to buy multifamily properties together. So when we found a really good deal, and this was by January, uh, we realized that we needed to raise the funds for it. And we didn't have someone that we could call up and say, "Hey, like, this is, can you let us borrow this much?" Because since it was a multifamily, it was a fourplex. We needed to have someone that wanted to stay long term. So we I found a list of people who would lend in sub two, and I texted everyone. I texted everyone and I was like, "Hey, I have this opportunity." Like literally, I don't really remember what I said, but it was like my pitch, my very first pitch. Are you still looking to lend? Um, and almost all of them said yes. Some of them were like, "Oh, not right now, not anymore, not because of my circumstances." But I still have them on my contacts, and I still message them from time to time just to see how they're doing.
Gotcha.
But that is actually how I found to raise capital. Now, my pitch, I don't know how I would say what I start with is, because I really try to build the relationship first. I don't come in trying to say, hey, I have this deal or this opportunity. I come in saying like, hey, what are you doing in real estate? What are your goals and dreams? Like, if you could do anything in real estate, what would you do? Why are you working on that particular acquisitions? And it just depends, right? Like, oh, you love your W-2? Tell me more about that. Um, do you have retirement account? Are you investing from your retirement account? So, if they don't have a team and they're doing it all themselves, because I have talked to people who are working a W-2 and are doing real estate investing, and they're lending from their self-directed IRA,
Yeah,
and they're managing their own properties. And I'm just like, why are you managing your own properties? You need to find people to do that for you. But just helping them wherever I can, right? So if I
yeah,
know property managers in their area, I will let them know, like, hey, I know these property managers, they're pretty good. You can give them a call. Or just really anything that they might need or want, or even have questions about that they don't know about. Um, I'm there. Like, I talked to someone in sub two, and they were telling me about trusts, and was learning about like how you can um, connect your retirement funds to your trust, and how you should do it that way so that you can lend and you would make interests double. But I'm not going to get into that, but it's really interesting. And the person I was talking to actually knew a little bit about that, and I was just confirming what they knew. So we were kind of like confirming each other what we knew about that, and it was really really cool. I think of them, and I'm like that. I think of them fondly. I have lenders who haven't lent with me, but want to, and I know that I can go to them and ask them questions about what they do. Some of them do insurance, so I ask them insurance questions, or they do quotes for me to be able to see which plan would be better for me and my family. Like, we're tight. That's what I would say. And that's what I love about building relationships, that we can
exactly.
help each other out. I can always give them a call and be like, this is what I need, or they can give me a call and ask me for this. I have a friend, a lender, who is actually looking for funds for properties in Puerto Rico. So he's doing a fund for that. And if you're interested, let me know, because that is a really cool project that he's working on. I'm actually due to call him today or tomorrow to talk about it. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm excited for his projects and his prospects. Um,
Is that the
but
one Rena and Priya are partnered on?
I'm not sure. I'm going to talk
Because
details
they're
today or
also
tomorrow.
doing the same thing, except that's also Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
I think after that meetup that they went in Puerto Rico, where all the sub two students met up in Puerto Rico, they're like going hard there. So I'm really excited to see what comes out of there.
Oh yeah, I had no idea how hot Puerto Rico was until Jerry was like going all over it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
on that note, right? So like you're like the main person, not just like connecting, but like you're like facilitating everything, right? So like you're the person in the center, like whatever they need, you just give it. Like you're just leading with value.
Hmm.
Gotcha. And so like how are you monetizing that? Like so like how do you put that into action? Like when they need something, like and you find like let's say you find a lot of private capital, and same time you find a wrap buyer for that deal, which they're struggling with, and then same time maybe they need a foreclosure specialist. You also come with that. So like, how do you like structure those type of deals? Like, how do you like bring people together?
Well, the main thing I do is raise capital, because if I connect you
Mhm.
with anybody else, anything else, I don't really look for a fee, because that's not what I mainly do. If I find someone, like, I won't work hard to look for someone, but if I do, I will let you know. Like, I have a friend who we connected, and they have helped me on so many things. And I actually talked to someone who was interested in selling their land, and they're a developer, but not in the same state that I am. So I was like, wow, this person wants to sell their land, and she was telling me like, I'm interested in selling my land, but maybe in the future I just want to know what it's like. I want to get my feet wet and like to know what this would be like. Um, so we negotiated something and it worked out for her and it works out for him, and I just connected that. So it was kind of like a wholesale thing, but we're the way that we're handling the payment is like all on the back end. So like it's gonna be really really awesome, and she gets to learn and he gets to teach her and I get to watch an awesome connection. My friends make money.
Amazing.
I know. So
Your friend is making money. You're helping the seller, and you're learning by helping
yeah,
that friend.
I'm helping them and I'm making money too. So I'm really excited about that. Um,
That is
but
amazing.
but yeah, so it just depends, right? I For me, my structure is a little bit different. Me and Kalisha does this too, where we will be there with the lender the whole time. So we're the ones going back and forth with the attorneys or the title company. So is the lender, but like we're double checking. The lender's double checking and we're double checking.
Gotcha.
So we're there throughout the whole process until they get the funds at the end.
Hmm. So like on these notes, like a lot of new people are coming after. Even for me, like so many newbies I'm seeing, like who want to like, get into real estate, but they have the funds, but none of them have like the the experience or the time. I even noticed with this with sellers too. Like recently, a broker and a seller I called, they also want to like get involved, but they're like don't have the time. They say like they want to like be like they want to like be done with the W-2s.
Hmm.
So like on that note, I'm saying like how do you keep them like protected? Like how do you open like how do you show them that opportunity that they can be protected and raise and like learn from real estate at the same time?
Yeah,
Like why should they invest with you? Let's
yeah.
say.
Well, something that we've learned here on our podcast is that there's three things that you can bring to the table, right? You can either bring the knowledge, the know-how, you can bring the deal, or you can bring the funds. And that those are the three main things or key things that you need to make a deal happen.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
Wow.
if someone's telling me they don't have time, that's okay. Do they have the deal or do they have the funds?
Mm,
I would, if they want to be part of an awesome opportunity that's happening, that I can show them, I can go and look for the deal because I have the time. Someone else can come in and bring in the funds. So I always tell them like, where do you fit on this scale? Do you have time? No. Okay. Do you have funds? And a
gotcha.
lot of people that don't think they have funds actually do have, because you can leverage your debt to be able to invest, which is amazing. I like to talk about it every time that I can talk about it, right? Just you guys leverage your debt to be able to invest in real estate, pay back your debt, and make
Wow.
money. So
So like what are some ways they leverage your debt? Let's actually talk about that. Yeah, I like this question. So like by leveraging debt, you mean like let's say they have a HELOC, right?
mhm.
Or maybe they have like they refinance and they get some cash out of their home, or
Yeah.
like what are some ways that they leverage?
Yeah, you can do that. Line of credit. You can pull a line of credit. You can get a whole life insurance. You can do infinity banking. You just have to know how to set it up correctly, you guys. If you're going to set up a whole life insurance to be doing infinity banking, make sure you go to the right people to do this. Um, oh, talking about that. Hey, I forgot to say our disclaimers for today. Hey, disclaimer, you guys. The following information is for educational purposes only.
Financial
Please
advice.
do your own due diligence. We do not provide financial, legal, or professional advice, you guys. So I think that was good to put it there. You guys always go to the people who know, who are certified, and who know
Exactly.
what they're doing. So make sure that if you're going to get a whole life insurance to do the infinity banking, you go to someone who's done it before or is doing it right now for real estate investing. Try to get people who are knowledgeable in real estate investing. Even with the people who are advising you about how to do your finances. If you want to be in real estate, it's really important to talk to people who are also investing in real estate or are managing a lot of portfolios for people. Like, just be careful with that.
Exactly. I mean, I've seen a lot of people take advice from people who are not where they are, like where they want to be. So it's like they went the wrong way. A lot of people, and they lost money that way too.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So
Especially with like life insurance policies, you really think that you have something because that's what they told you off a comment, but they didn't really know how to set it up correctly. So when you go back to the contract and you look at the wording, you're just like, this is not what I thought this was. That's happened a couple times that I've seen. And now we're always like, hey, get it right the first time. Just go back, make sure it's properly set up and redo it. I mean, it sucks, but
So you have like let's say you have a lawyer and a CPA, right, on your team. Like you have
um
a Nick,
oh,
like
Nick McGrew
yep.
is a friend. He's in Amy Majori's mentorship. He actually is a lawyer for Vina Jetty.
Yep.
He does a lot of stuff with Vina, but he's not on our team. But if we do need any advice, and we're sure to ask him.
Hmm.
A
Have you guys
CPA.
done a
She also, we found her on the sub 2 community. She's really cool. If you guys need her, you guys can also go to her. Yeah, we try to find people who are knowledgeable and know what they're doing. So
agreed? I mean, do you guys do funds of funds? Fund of funds?
I'm not doing one right now, and I think Kalisha's doing just a fund. She's not doing a fund to fund.
Gotcha. So it's not like when you're raising capital for people, it's not like a fund of funds exactly, right? So it's like you're the you're the one
A
like
fund is
partnering.
set up by a lawyer.
Gotcha.
From my knowledge, you guys, please don't take this. You guys, I don't know that much about funds, but a fund is set up by a lawyer. It's like it has its rules and stipulations clearly written out. It's like a contract that you get. Um, so in a fund to fund, I think they do a fund to fund so that the investors don't have to be accredited for the first fund, and then the second one they are accredited.
Gotcha. That makes.
Just
I mean,
add,
accredited
correct me,
investors.
guys, if I'm wrong. Just write it in the comments.
I mean, there's a lot of accredited investors, and they're like they're they're like the ones who like really want to make sure your deals are good. It's
The
like,
accredited
oh
investors.
yeah. I mean, as long as it's making good returns, but they want to make sure, like, from what my experience was, like, they want to like make sure like they're protected and the deal is gonna be like safe and like won't
I
like go
think
the wrong
I
way.
think all good investors are asking the right questions. People,
Exactly.
even if they're going to invest like $20,000, it's something that's taken them maybe a year or 2 years to save up. It's 2 years of their lives. So it's something that if they're asking questions to me, that's a green flag.
Mhm.
It tells me that they are interested and they want to know more. And if I have
Exactly.
a good deal, I have the numbers and I have the proof to back it up to tell them, like, hey, you're going to be protected. This is the numbers. We're good. Now, something that I do tell my investors is that to stay longer, right? So if a deal if they're asking for 12 months for those funds, I'm not going to I'm not going to go back and ask them for 6 months or like shorten the term because they want a shorter term. I tell them that that's risky because then the borrower is alert. He's trying to get those funds. He's trying to make sure that you get paid back, and that also like gives him less time to be like getting those funds for you. So it's more of a risk to do that. So I always talk to my investors. I always tell them to try to stay the year. Of course, if something happens, unforeseen things happen, but I try to set that expectation
Makes sense. So the expectation of 1 year
at
is
least.
okay. That makes sense. Wow, that's actually a good tip. No one really mentioned that before. So
Yeah.
so make sure they stay 1 year at least. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's an expectation, right? Especially for people who are doing like they're holding properties. They're not doing like flips or um something that you're gonna be able to cash out on in six
Yep.
months or 9 months, depending on what market you're in. But yeah, it's just setting that expectation of, hey, like we're thinking about you and making sure you get your funds back on time.
Mhm. And let's say like you're doing a flip, right? And someone put their money in your flip already, and now you saw what happened this last year, right? Like this couple months, like when interest is spiking up, like buyers just suddenly backed out, like, and there've been longer days on markets. So like, let's say it completely like there are no buyers at that time, right? But there are a lot of renters. Like whenever there's like no buyers, I've seen a lot of renters coming in, a lot of tenants. So like if that happens, right? So how do you like keep your private money lender protected? Like so many times I've seen like deals turn out like in this way, and I think,
Where you have to extend.
hmm and I think I seen like for one sub two student recently, or actually last year, they were unable to sell their flip, so I think they turned that into like a wrap, or like they sold it on a wrap or something, so they're cash flowing rather than selling it at once.
Smart, yeah. Sometimes you gotta change strategies as an entrepreneur. It's really important to be able to be a little malleable, and change strategies. That was a good strategy on them, right? And it's just a relationship that you've built with your lender. If you're there giving them updates and saying, "Hey, this is how the project is going," they'll kind of see that it's not going to sell when it's supposed to sell, right? And they're seeing the markets too, so they're also seeing what's going on. Um, you write that though in your paperwork. You say, hey, if I extend, we're it's going to be okay. Maybe we add 1%, or every month it's
Hmm.
2% more. You know, it just depends what you negotiate with your lender. But then if you see that you're going to change strategies, there's something else that you can do where you can bring in another private money lender to pay that first private money lender back. Or you can talk to them and be like, hey, this strategy is going to change. Are you good with staying on longer? Do you want to be an equity partner? Do you want to change how we're doing things? Or do you like those monthly checks I'm giving you? It's just about the
Yep.
relationship you have with your lender, and whether they're good with you changing strategies or if they want their funds back. It's just, you gotta, as an entrepreneur, you gotta think quick on your feet.
Exactly. That's what I've been seeing a lot. And like the ones who are like who are good under pressure, they're the ones who survive this thing. Like
Yeah,
especially under pressure. If you cannot handle pressure, you're not fit for being an entrepreneur. I'll be honest. Or like at least leverage. Learning to leverage.
learning to leverage what you have, leverage everything that you have.
So like on that note, I see because you're a good relationship builder, right? So like you've been leveraging a lot of relationships lately, right? Right? Like you leverage and anyone who like needs something, even if you don't have it, you're able to like bring someone on, right?
Yeah, and that's something I'm trying to always get better at, building relationships, but also finding people that are good at what they do that I'm not good at. So
Gotcha.
just finding that right people that will help me get further quicker instead of me trying to do everything myself. It's something that I preach to other people, so it's hard. It's hard, when you give
Yep.
advice and you're like, I need that too. That's one
It's
of those that I'm like, me too. I also need that.
it's like we know the advice and we give the same advice to other people because we learned it from someone else. But we
Yeah,
have to like apply it ourselves. I
exactly,
struggle with that
exactly.
too. Like I'm the one who always says that, but I'm the one who doesn't do that as much as I should.
I
That's
know. But yeah, I'm always looking for people who can underwrite really well, who are really good at building relationships like me, who have more time than I do.
I mean, I
Um,
have the time if you want to work partner on that.
let's do it. Yeah, I'm always looking for new opportunities. So hey,
Yeah, I mean, definitely we can partner on that. Like, I'll be open to working, learning from each other.
of course.
Yep. So on that note, like now we mentioned on leveraging, right? So how are you like? Are you delegating right now, or like are you doing like are you one person team, or you have like multiple people on the team right now?
So I'm between, right? That's what I was just saying that I need to do more of. I do have an underwriter and I have a VA, but I need to get an integrator. I'm
Yeah,
looking for an integrator if anybody.
I think we all need an integrator. That's like the number one because they're so organized that they know how to be focused. Where we are like we want to like go on all directions.
Yeah, on the integrator and visionary score, I kind of got like I got a high score on both, so I'm both. But um, I think I'm more of a vision. I lean towards visionary because I will work with whatever system I have. It doesn't matter if it's not like perfect, but
Exactly.
if it's a system, I'll work with it. So I'm not like too strict on that, and maybe that's a flaw that I have.
I think I'm somewhere in that same category too. I'm like the way I overthink and ask questions is like an integrator, but the way I'm like my vision and the stuff I want to do is very visionary. So I'm like both ways, and they like pull me apart.
I get it. I get it.
So and that's kind of like the overthinking part is what stops me all the time. So I mean, have you struggled with that? I think you may have struggled with that a lot, right?
Yeah, with the overthinking, I overthink things when I'm on my own.
Yeah,
When I have partners and people that I'm doing stuff with and for, it helps me go faster just because I feel like I can trust them to know more than I do. And I don't realize that I also know a lot.
hmm
So it's a thing that I'm working on myself right now. But yeah, for me, I jump into things very quickly and I don't like strategize.
yeah,
So I've been trying to strategize and then jump in. Even if it's slower, it'll be more effective because it's targeted, if that makes sense.
exactly.
But I'm still taking continuous action.
I think exactly what Keston told me that like last Thursday. It was like I gotta start strategizing those things that I'm planning to do. I have
Hmm.
the idea, but I have to like strategize and take action on it. That's something he
Yeah.
exactly told me. So I think
Yes.
we all struggle with similar things.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Keston is amazing. Ugh, I need to talk to him. I haven't talked to him in a bit.
Oh yeah. On that note, actually, like, how's your family life going with while you're doing the business? Like, are you guys like, are they, everyone involved together, or is it just like you focusing on this part right now compared to your husband or?
No, that's a good question. Um, Family is super important to me. So I try to organize my time so that I can be there for my family as much as I can. But I also include them in what I do. So if I'm going to a meetup, I always invite them. Although my kids are a little bit older and they've been saying no because they're like, I don't have I really have time to play. So but my husband's very involved. He learned how to underwrite now, so he's doing that stuff. He's working on that project, new development that I was talking to you about earlier. He's working on that one. We're really excited about that project, and it's going pretty good right now.
Now
But
you're on the new dev. Like, so like how did you get involved in new dev? That's a completely whole different can of worms, right? The whole different field.
yeah, and like I said, it's the a friend that I have in Florida. He does new development in Florida, and
Gotcha.
once we were going home, he started explaining how the numbers work, and it just clicked to my in my head. It just totally made sense, and I was like, I don't know why people are not doing this. This seems very easy. I
I
was
mean,
like,
it kind of does because the same with like how a lot of our like friends, like when you're building a custom home, right? You buy like a lot, build a
hmm,
custom home. That's kind of like a new dev. You can, I mean, maybe numbers may not match, but I noticed like the way people would just be building homes, getting the permits. A lot of
Yeah.
people, regular people do it all the time now. I see.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I say easy, I don't mean like easy to build a new house. I know it has a
Yeah.
lot of things and it's very involved. And I'm learning right now. So I'm very excited to keep learning, and all the hurdles we've had so far have been good hurdles that I've learned from. So yeah, it's just been awesome. I really enjoy it. I getting to pick like the blueprints and seeing how the property is going to look, that but also making sure that it's in style with the rest of the properties. um
Hmm.
and I got lucky because my husband's a contractor, so he knows how to go ask for the permits. And when I'm like, okay, like this is what I don't understand, and then he'll tell me about like what goes there and what's the benefits of putting one thing over the other thing. And I'm just like, oh wow, like I'm learning so much.
Exactly. So now you mentioned contractor, right? So I just noticed there was like a list of relationships I feel like we have to build, right? To you, like one I feel like is obviously the buyer, title company, and other investors. So like what relationships to you are very, very important in real estate? Like what's the of relationships you always keep in your back pocket?
I think all relationships are important,
Exactly.
especially like other investors who are doing the same thing that you want to do. I think those are the people that you need to be hanging out with the most. The people who are doing exactly where you want to be in the next 2 years, you need to be hanging out with them. So those are
Exactly.
the people that you need to be there asking questions, hanging out, inviting them to lunch, inviting them for coffee. Um, but I think all of the relationships are very important, because also like when you're doing a flip or a new construction, you need to have good contractors, right? You need to be sure that
Mhm.
you can depend on them and that they're gonna be able to work on your property efficiently. A good project manager is super important when you're doing that too. When I've been seeing stuff lately and I'm just like, wow, like they were so disorganized. Or my husband will tell me sometimes when he's seeing some projects, when the way that they are being done, it's just like it gets really frustrating knowing how how it should have been done or can be done so it could be more efficient, and it's not as efficient. So
Mhm.
I think having a really good property manager is important. But every relationship with your lenders is really important. Um, with your even if you're talking to agents, the agents that you're talking to and you're getting deals from all the time, those relationships are important. Even your family and your friends' relationships are important because they can
Yes.
be your private money lenders too.
I mean, actually, there was something you said that family friends are really important, right? But I noticed something like strangers are more willing to invest than 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 others. I noticed. Like I
The
don't know
family,
why. Everyone says the same thing. Strangers are like ready to give you their money. Maybe it's because they see what you're doing or something. But
they see your potential, I think, and
yeah,
family and friends seeing how many times you failed.
exactly. I think that
Uh,
was what it is.
no, but you guys, pro tip, if you guys are out there, if you guys are asking your family and your friends for funds, especially like in the Hispanic community, please pay your lenders back, even if they are your family or your friends. If you need to extend, give them more interest, that's going to bring them be more willing. That's going to bring them back to you, and they're going to be more willing to let you borrow funds. I've talked to lenders, Hispanic lenders especially, that they're like, I know I shouldn't do business with my family. You guys, come on, let's be responsible.
And you know what's really funny? Actually, I always see these type of relationships, right? Some reason like they come like your reputation in these communities spread like wildfire. Like
Yeah,
the second you do something messed up or something wrong, right? Like it spreads through to everyone, and like everyone's gonna be talking about like how bad you've been
yeah. So reputation
easily.
is really important. Reputation,
Hmm.
how you handle those relationships. Yeah. I know a lot of lenders who are like, they just ghosted me. They're like the people who I let them borrow my funds, they just ghosted me. They don't talk back. And really all they want is for you to tell them what's going on,
Exactly.
to keep them updated. If you need to extend, most of the time they understand.
Exactly. I have like a also Hispanic friend, right? She's also like she's working with someone right now. She put her funds in there, but like that person, she hasn't been paid back for like over a year already, over a year or two. So it's like she's getting a little bit frustrated at this, but like the other person at least is keeping her in communication, trying to like trying to make ends meet somehow. Like she's trying to like do another flip or something so she can pay off that lender. So I'm seeing these type of things appear everywhere.
Yeah, it's important to at least keep your communication open and they know that you're trying. I think that they know it's a risk. Hopefully,
Exactly.
you guys investing is a risk if you don't know it. It's always a risk. So, yeah, I think everybody would be understanding if you just
Yep.
tell them, be real, transparent, responsible, and build and have that relationship standing strong.
Yep. Don't invest what you're not willing to lose.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
you gotta be like you have to be just ready for anything in this field. I think, right?
Exactly. Yep. Yep. Run your
Like
numbers. Be safe out there.
so on that, like, what are some like things that appear like randomly, like to be prepared for when, especially in capital raising or investing in general?
I think the thing that we weren't expecting that we saw was title companies being very, I don't know a word to use, um, inefficient, I guess.
Hmm.
Something that happens a lot actually with title companies or attorneys is that they won't start the paperwork or won't do the paperwork work until it's like at the end. And sometimes when we have lenders who are using their self-directed IRA, we tell them like, hey, this is going to take time. This might take 2 weeks because it needs to get approved from their custodian. We need to get approval for their paperwork. So when they're at the like closing, like 2 days out from the closing date, and they're trying to get all the paperwork in place, and they're like, we're trying to close 2 days from now, we're like, well, we can't. We need the approval from the custodian, and we told you, and we needed 2 weeks. So that was like a hurdle. Also, we talked about that one time that the title company sent the funds to somebody else, and they didn't even know who they sent the funds to from our private money lender. That was crazy and hectic, and we were panicking a little bit, but they were able to get the funds back.
Oh,
So, yeah, just make sure you have your insurance, your title insurance for stuff like that
mhm.
happens because that's not on you, but that's on them.
Gotcha. So title insurance number one right now. And I'm glad you mentioned that because recently I in Texas, right, there's like a title company most sub two students are using, right? But because they're so busy right now, nothing is moving for a lot of sub two students. They're telling me. It was like I was like about to use a title company for something, but they're like, no, don't use it right now. It's gonna take forever to get a deal done because
Yeah.
like they're so busy. So sometimes I'm starting to realize like the most popular title companies, right, is that's referred, right? I feel like not all they are not good all the time because everyone starts using something you refer, right? And
Yeah.
then they don't have time for you. Like good contractor too. Like you refer a contractor, then everybody starts using him, and then they don't have time for you.
Well, hopefully you have a more better relationship with the contractors that they prioritize you.
Exactly.
But
I've been seeing that happen to some people. So
yeah, I had a funny thing happen to me, and I haven't shared this. I've been thinking about sharing this on my social media, but uh, I use the TC. I use my TC for all my projects that I do, just because I prefer it. I prefer to use a TC, and she's amazing. And she talked about this new attorney that is actually doing rounds here at our meetup, at our sub two meetups here in Georgia. And that attorney, I met with him, and we closed on a property, and I had 0% interest, zero down, zero interest on the property I was getting. And he asked my seller, he was like, "Are you sure you want to do 0% interest?" I was like, "Excuse me, sir, who are you representing?" But my seller is a friend because we build those relationships, and she
Yep.
was like, "Yeah, I'm sure." And he was like, are you selling anything else at 0% interest?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I am paying her a little bit more for that 0%."
That is so funny. Now everyone is like seeing this. Like everyone who has 0% interest is like, I want to get in on this like right now.
Yeah, but it's also like get informed, right? It's like,
Exactly.
hey, it's negotiating. I'm
Exactly.
giving the price that they want, so which is a little bit higher than I was
Yep.
thinking, so that we could get that 0% interest. So and that zero down. So it's just like negotiating your numbers. Do they make sense? For us it made sense, and it was good, on their end and on our end, and we're really happy. Um but yeah, it was the whole thing with the attorney. Are you sure? I was like, what?
Oh
I
my
was like,
god.
she signed the paperwork. But
That's
okay.
the funniest attorney I see.
And then he goes to the sub 2 meetup, so he should know creatively. But yeah, I found out later.
Oh, she's in the Southern meetups, the same
No,
attorney.
he's doing the rounds. He's promoting
Okay.
himself in sub 2. So
Okay. That makes sense.
yeah,
That
I know.
is that's
Like,
funny.
dude, learn a little bit about creative financing, please.
Yep. Honestly, I feel like I should start like doing something like I'm not the creative expert right now. I will soon hope to be one, but I think I should start like making events like where we can get agents or like other people, attorneys or whatever, educated in this field.
Do it.
Like,
There's people doing it already in other states.
yeah,
I haven't heard one in Texas, but you should definitely do it. Definitely go out there, do like creative fan. I've seen a couple done here in Atlanta that is for like real estate agents, and it's creative financing, telling them about like all the other things that you can do to be able to sell your properties on creative finance. It would be very helpful. So definitely do it. Go for it.
are you
Joel.
there?
Yeah.
All right, we lost you for a second.
But yeah, I was telling you that you should go for it.
Yep, I agree. Like I want to do that. I think I may not know everything on creative, right? So I think I should probably leverage someone. Maybe be the guy who like who sets up the events, maybe.
Yeah.
Or,
Well, definitely. You should do that. There's
yeah,
this person here that is in sub 2, but here in Georgia. His name is Pat. He has a restaurant in Alpharetta. So you guys, if you guys are in Georgia, connect with me. I can connect you there. They do one or two meetups every month, and it's open to everybody, real estate. And sometimes they brought it that attorney. They brought Mamadou once to talk about creative financing. So it's a really cool place to go and meet other people, and then also learn a little bit.
agreed.
So it's really definitely, yeah, you can do it. Pat's not an
Yeah,
expert, but he is there creating these huge events, and each
I
month
agree.
more and more people go. So
I
you can
think
go
my
do it.
mindset is like I want to be expert before I do anything. Is why I'm not doing anything.
I'm not an expert, and look at me here.
I know, and you've been doing a lot of deals and closing deals. Actually, on that note, right? So like you're doing a lot of creative deals too, right? You're finding and are you wholesaling or you're buying and holding?
Buying and holding.
Gotcha. So like, what's your main strategy of finding those deals right now?
Just connecting with other people. I'm
Gotcha.
not trying to do the acquisitions thing,
Hmm.
but I have been doing it a little bit throughout these weeks. But yeah, I'm mainly connecting with other people, other wholesalers. A lot of people in Georgia are focusing in Atlanta, and I'm just like, I want more on my market that's a little bit
What market are you
suburban. I'm in Gwinnett County, which
in?
is
Gotcha.
also a very hot market.
Hmm. Atlanta's hot. Like a lot of people moving to Georgia right now. Like
Yeah. Yeah, like
Traffic is not good, right?
Peachtree City is growing so much. Sugar Hill is growing so much. Buford is growing so much. Houston is growing a lot. Rassleton a lot. So hey, you guys, if you guys have deals in those cities that I mentioned, let a girl know.
Yep. And Georgia is hot. Like I think you also have Rina's sister there. I'm not sure if you met her there yet, but Priya,
Oh,
she's also there.
awesome. Well, definitely get us connected. I would love to
Yep.
take her out for coffee or something.
Oh yeah, it's like it's such a like a small world. Like social media is connecting everybody.
Yeah.
Actually, that's another topic I want to ask you. Like you're doing a lot of branding right now, right? Like like you already started this podcast. You're making daily posts. So like, how are you leveraging your social media and branding? How are you getting more people involved and like getting out to like a bigger base of people?
It's just doing what you just said. Posting podcasts. I also started my own podcast talking about being an entrepreneur
Yep.
and family life, so balancing both. It's called Parentpreneur. You guys can look at me up and you will find it. I've had some guests. It's always about learning, right? I've with the journey of doing Money Mondays, I've learned that I don't know everything, which I already knew that. But what I've learned is that it's a leverage. It's something that you can use to be able to learn way more, way faster. So I've used with Money Mondays and our Raising Capital channel, we have learned so much about new ways to be able to raise capital, um, and invest with purpose. It's literally our tag, and it's really what we are learning every day, every time that we come up here, every time we interview someone new. We are learning new strategies, new ways to protect yourselves. So I think it's I didn't know so much, and I've learned so much just because of this podcast.
Exactly. Honestly, like I started following you because of the podcast. So like, all right, you and Kalisha are like killing it right now. So I was like, I like what you guys are doing. So I'm like, I want to get more involved. I was like, these people are doing exactly what I'm gonna do. And then you
Thanks.
also like on social media, you're saying connector, you're saying all of these relationship building, and that's what I'm doing too. So it's like
Hmm.
automatically made me want to like, all right, this is the people.
Yeah, yeah, and that's my tagline. My personal tagline is building wealth together.
Exactly.
So that's the whole vision, and that's the goal for me.
hmm I mean, JJ does the same thing. He's like crazy good on social media. So like everyone knows him, everyone sees him.
Yeah,
It's like
you guys, he just gave JJ a shout out. He had us on his podcast, and you can find him at JJS Season. I just want to make sure you guys, the viewers, know where to find him. You guys can definitely connect with him and connect with a lot of other like-minded people, investors. Yeah.
so many people. It's
So,
just
Joel,
so
how
many.
can people connect with you?
Social Facebook. I'm all over Facebook, social media. So you'll find me in like almost every group. That'll be like in Rena's group, creative group. So send me a DM. I'm also on Instagram, the Primal Eskimo.
Awesome.
Pace. The funny story about the name is like Pace knew me as that for like the longest time. Like I used to like ask questions anonymously. Like I never wanted to show my face, so I used to like hide my face as the Primal Eskimo. Then then I just ask whatever I wanted to ask Pace, and then he was like, "You're asking so many good questions. Can you just start reveal who you are?" And then everyone is like constantly like begging me to just reveal my name, and then I just did. And then they were like, "Why don't we JV? Let's get you your first deal. You're on here too much." So it's like, reveal your name. Everyone gotta know who you are, and it's
Love
scary
it.
to do that, but
I'm
that's
glad
what I
you did
like.
it, and that's why you're here right now.
Yep. Like last year, I would not be able, actually not last year, but like 2 years back, I would not have done what I'm doing right now because I hated showing my face. So
Yeah, you guys, Joel is actually very young still. If you guys can't tell, he is. Yeah, he's doing it, and he's gonna break those barriers. He's gonna jump in, right?
I agree, for sure. 20 years old. I'm going to be turning 21 in March, so I want to get it done before then. Something at
Yeah.
least. First
So
deal.
you guys, if you want to send him a message and just keep him accountable, you can find him there. His name is on the screen, so you guys can just look him up. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for asking all your questions, diving deep, and getting to
Actually,
know
thank
us a
you
little
though,
bit more.
because you were the one giving me the opportunity to be here.
Well,
So,
we always lead with thankfulness. We're very thankful today. So there's that theme.
gratitude. Like Jamil was the first one to like. He was when I met him in person. He was like, "You got to start practicing more gratitude every day." It was like the more you do, the more will come to you, and it puts you in that flow state. Like
Yeah.
you have everything. You won't chase anything. You'll be so happy, excited to do things every day.
All right. Any advice you want to give our viewers?
Take action and connect with people. Build relationships. If you don't know what the heck you're doing, there's so many people like Betzy herself. You guys gotta connect with her, or connect with anyone who's doing what you're doing. That's like number one. Just get a team.
Yeah. Good advice, Joel. Thank you. Thanks again for being here. And thank you, you guys, our viewers, for being here today. We got to ask so many questions. We got to see a new side of me. I know today I did a lot of talking, I feel like.
I
But
like
yeah,
that.
if you guys enjoyed this, please subscribe to our channel. We're available on all podcast platforms, all major ones at least. So we have a lot of listeners. You guys, again, we're very thankful. We're grateful that you guys are listening, and learning every day, getting 1% better. Yeah. All right, you guys. So whether you are looking to finance your next project or launch or expand a new business, we hope that this episode gave you some insights, strategies, and tips so you can raise capital. And do you want to say it with me, Joel?
Yep.
Invest
Invest
with purpose.
purpose.
See you
Invest
next
for
time.
purpose. Let's do it.